Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Lunar Counseling Podcast. I'm your host, a licensed professional counselor, EMDR certified therapist, certified hypnotherapist, and the owner of Lunar Counseling. This podcast is a space for grounded, real conversations with therapists and healers about the deeper layers of mental health, trauma, embodiment, and healing. Today, I'm really honored to welcome Brandi, Rahim. Rahim?
Yes.
Okay, Rahim. Okay, let's do the show. Brandi is a licensed clinical social worker, holistic healer, and the founder of Heal You, Whole You. With over 15 years in the mental health field, her work is deeply shaped by her own lived healing journey, navigating trauma, sensitivity, spiritual awakening, and the process of learning how to feel safe in her body. Brandi knows firsthand what it's like to survive, to self-abandoned, and to burn out while trying to hold everything together. Rather than continuing down a path of survival, she chose something different: alignment over conditioning, truth over performance, and presence over perfection. A choice now deeply informs how she supports others. Her work weaves together lived experience, spirituality, intuition, and ancestral wisdom, creating spaces where healing doesn't have to be performed, it can be felt. Brandi invites people to gently unravel coping patterns, roles, and expectations, and to reconnect with who they are beneath it all in a way that honors both their humanity and their wholeness. So, welcome, Brandi. I'm so glad that you're here.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, I love to ask everyone what brought you into the healing world. Obviously, if you have traumas, you don't have to share your traumas unless you want to. But
Yeah. I always say it chose me because it's not anything that I saw myself doing. Like when I was little, I never was like, yeah, I want to be like a healer or anything, not even a therapist or a social worker. I wanted to be a teacher. I loved kids. And then I did I guess like home study or not home study. What is it called? Work study in college. And I worked with like little kids and I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I would rather talk to them one on one, which is like what I enjoyed. But I was like, I don't want to stand up and teach. I want to get to know them all on an individual level. And then I realized they leave each year and you get new kids. So I was just like, yeah, how can I do that? And I was like, oh yeah, like doing therapy, right? You get to keep the relationship no matter what grade they're in. And you get to really know them. And so it was working with kids in school. Like I said, thinking I wanted to be a teacher. And then I got pregnant with my own kiddo my freshman year of college. And I was just like, man, yeah, how can I help people without teaching them? I thought I wanted to be a nurse after that. And I was like, I have a gross, yucky stomach. Like, I can't stomach blood and needles. So I was like, can't do that. And when I had my kid, I had to go get on public assistance. And the way that I was treated, they were so nasty. Like when I went to get food stamps and Medicaid, they were so rude, so nasty. And I was just like, these are social workers. Cause again, that's what they're called. Like when they work at the county department, even though they're not, you can just have a high school diploma. But in my mind, they were social workers. And I was like, I'm going to do this because I'm never going to treat people like this that just are coming for assistance. Like I'm in college, I'm trying, I just need this until I graduate. And so that's what brought me into it. Like I was doing research on just the government and policies and why do I have to do this in order to get food stamps? Or what's the qualifications and why? And so that kind of drove me into the social service field, the wanting to help people. Again, I always wanted to help people, but in that capacity. Oh no, if this is my experience and this is my first kid, imagine the woman that's over there with 3 kids, they're crying. What are they assuming about her because she's down here getting benefits? So that's what did it. Like me having my first kiddo and needing to tap into government assistance and seeing, oh, they're judging me. Like they think that I'm just sitting at home twiddling my thumbs and trying to collect a paycheck. And it's not that at all. And I pay taxes. So give me the benefits that I'm entitled to. So that's
it's,
what drove everything. And then I applied to the major of social work and that started my career.
it's amazing. Talk about rising from the ashes, essentially. So, and it's like an FU to the system. But I'm going to show you how it really is
Yes.
and go from there,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. But you're so right that the agencies, they do think people are just there to just catch a check and they're not actually working. And majority of people are working their butts off just to survive.
Yeah.
And they just
And who's like making a living off of this? They don't give you enough to where you can like fully depend on that. You have to work to supplement with, they don't give you a lot. It's like you think I'm sitting at home getting rich off of the government. Not hardly. Like, I have to work to supplement what you guys aren't doing. This is not, you're not, I don't know anybody that like became a millionaire off of getting food stamps and Medicaid. So again, just even like how they think, yeah, you have to turn in proof that you're in school or that you're working. I will gladly show you proof that I'm working in school. But then if you work too much, they like cut your benefits. So it's, do I work or not work? Because I was working and you guys said I was making, so again, I was just like, why are things set up this way? And I'm always a person that needs to understand and get to the bottom of stuff. So like I just start researching like why? Like who came up with these requirements? This is crazy. Yeah. And then my apartment that I lived in, my rent was like $25 because I lived in subsidized housing. And they were so rude too. Like every time I would go pay my rent, they would just, they'll see you walk in and like just stay on the phone and ignore you, or just like, it was, I was just like, why are people so mean? And I was like, when I graduate, like, I'm gonna tell these people about themselves. And I did. When I graduated, I moved out of that apartment. I got my first job working at Job and Family Services. And I went and told them, like, you guys made me feel like crap for 4 years when I was just raising my kiddo, trying to make ends meet so I could finish school. And now I have a bachelor's degree, and you guys need to do better. Like, and it was worse than that, the way I said it. But in a nutshell, that's what I told them. Cause I was just like, now I'm graduating and I'm probably making twice your salary. So do better. Treat people better.
really. So I have a client that works for the state, like handling like the welfare and like all this stuff. And like she says trying to navigate the system is like challenging enough for the worker herself. And she's a master's degree. It's like she like knows all the ins and outs and everything for it. And it's just like when she talks about, it's just so asinine how they have everything set up. So I can only imagine navigating it as a teenager and the young mom. That's kudos to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it was a lot. And I think I'm grateful for that experience because it showed me what I wanted to do. Like I went to college undecided. I didn't know because like I said, I wanted to teach, then I wanted to be a nurse. So I was undecided. Looking back, like that was a very hard time. But now I'm like, it set the tone for me to be a therapist, a social worker, for me to want to go out and advocate for moms and babies and help people. So now like that you asked me, that's making me think, oh, that was like the catalyst for like all of this, for me being like this healer and wanting to help people. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, this is crazy. And then I went to work, like I said, for Job and Family Services. And I was just like, this stuff is crazy. I didn't last long because I was just like, I can't do this. This is nuts. And just the rules and the politics around, I was just like, yeah, like I want to help people, but not under these confines. Like,
You're in that job before you moved on to something else.
yeah, I never went back. I never went back. I worked there as my first job straight out of college. I worked there for a year and a half and I got pregnant with my daughter. So I got pregnant again. And I was like, I'm not raising kids working here. It was too stressful. Caseload was out of the world. I worked for children's services. And just like the way that we do resources and who gets what, and like the expectations to like get your kids back. And I'm like, they make it impossible on purpose. And it's like, helping these people. We are further oppressing them and creating a lot of shame. And I couldn't rock with it. Yeah, I opted out once I got out of there. I got another job. But yeah. And again, as much as I like I'm a therapist, I'm under the licensure board, I have a master's degree and bachelor's in social work. There's still some things about the profession that I'm just like, are we helping or are we further oppressing people? So it's a
Like
fine line.
I also heard like the social work like ethics and like their like doing things is definitely more like you have to be in poverty to do the work. It's like almost like the kind of like vibe that you get. There's a whole lot of money mindset around there. Like you can't really you can't really pay a lot to do this work because you have to be in the trenches. And then I have a coach who's also an LCSW, and she's yeah, like the whole field started from wealthy wives just going out in the community and volunteering. So like yeah, of course they didn't need to get paid for what they were doing. Their husbands were making bank. That's not the world we live in anymore. No one's making bank anymore. And like just letting their wives stay at home. And
Yeah.
there's like a small subset of people that can do that. But people that are
Yeah.
actually getting into the field, like, that's not why they're in the field.
Absolutely not. Yeah, and I've thought about that too. Did I get into this as a trauma response? A lot of us get into this field because something happened. Nobody at 5, when they're doing their little worksheet in kindergarten, and it says, "What do you wanna be when you grow up?" Nobody writes down social worker. You know what I mean? It's firefighter or nurse or teacher or actress, or it's not that. I think a lot of people, like, we get into social work because something happened and we wanna help. We wanna do better. We were treated badly, or we were abused, or we had our own traumatic experience that said, "I'm gonna be a social worker." And so I've thought about that too. And then I think about all the heart-centered professions and how they don't make a lot of money, but we'll pay athletes billions of dollars to throw a ball. And again, no shade to athletes. Like, I don't want anybody to listen to this and be like, "She hates sports." No, it's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, how are you guys changing anyone's life by throwing a football on ESPN? And again, I do watch and I partake in the chicken wings and the Super Bowl buffalo chicken dip, okay? I'm just saying their salary is significantly higher than the teachers, than the firefighters, than the police officers, than the social workers who are actively making change in people's lives, and how that is undervalued and not seen as a profession. So that's all I'm saying.
No,
But
I totally
yeah,
agree with you. I will say this though, they do make bank, but it's because it's private. Once something goes under the government umbrella, suddenly it gets sucked out of it so fast. If you're
yeah,
dealing with the government, you deal with insurance, all these regulatory reports, they all want their piece of the pie. But the people that are
yeah.
actually doing the work, we get like,
Minuscule. It's crazy, and it's, essentially why I went into private practice, because I was like, "I can't keep having these caps on how much I make, and my body is feeling like this." And again, don't get me wrong, football is very physical. They are running, they are fit, they have to, I'm sure, have a strict di I get it. I'm not discounting football players or basketball players, but my body hurts too at the end of the day when I have helped someone process deep trauma, because as an empath, I feel that too. My body hurts, my back hurts, from the emotional toll that this work takes on you. And that's why I had to start prioritizing myself and doing my own self work. Because even though I may just be sitting here talking to someone, which is what people think I do, it is so much more than that. It's an emotional toll that it takes on you. So you may not be able to see it physically because I'm not bruised, I don't have broken bones. But doing this work, you are shattered by people's broken glass. You are broke, you are cut by people's broken glass. Like, that happens. So, yeah.
I'm, I am an empath myself, so I know exactly what you're saying, and I feel it. Like actually, I had a session with a client like right before this, and I still have some of their energy inside of me that like I have to clear out at the end of the day
Yes.
because I can't hold it. Like
Yeah.
it is just something I also have to teach myself to go and be a mom. Like we have to get this stuff out of us in some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. I'm a mom, so I'm checking out of one job, checking into another. So we have to take care of ourselves, and I did not do a good job of that early on in my career, and I burned out, and I thought about, like, switching careers and going back to school for something else. I've always teetered back and forth, but it always brings me back. I always come back to it because it's my life's work. I really truly believe this is what I'm put here to do, but I always tell myself, but in order to do it and not cause harm, I have to take care of myself first.
So can you talk a little bit about your spiritual journey on like your way like to where you are now?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think when I think I started my spiritual journey, like, in 20, maybe 2016, 2017. I just start, like, having a lot of questions about different stuff. I was heavy into the church, like, going to church every Sunday. So I was going to a Christian church. I was Baptist. But, yeah, I started having a lot of questions about stuff. I got married, and the person I was married to was, like, not Christian, and so there was, like, the equally yoked conversation and, like, just how you should do things. And I remember the church that I attended, if your child wasn't born in wedlock, they wouldn't bless your baby. You can get your baby, like, blessed. They wouldn't do that if your baby wasn't born in wedlock. And so it was just certain stuff that I was just like, So, like, my baby's less than?" I don't know, it was just a lot that I was just like, "Yeah, I can't get with this stuff." So, I left, of course, because I will leave something. I will leave. So, I was just like, "This isn't for me." Like, when it comes to my babies, now you can call me a sinner, a sinful whatever. My children, absolutely not. That's where I draw the fucking line. They're not sinners. No. So I left the church and I just started having a lot of questions, like just about religion and like patriarchy, like why we call God he and not her, and like why women are the cause of like periods and painful birth, like just all these things. And I just was like, I don't rock with this. It just doesn't make sense to me. Who are we? Our existence? How did we get here? Why are people different colors? Why are people like it just I don't know. I feel like I was going crazy, which is what it feels like to have a spiritual awakening. You just are like, what the F is happening? I don't know. I feel like I just woke up one day and I was like, I'm on earth and I'm a human with skin and like I have to work. I don't know. It was a bizarre time, but I started doing a lot of research as I do. I hyper focus and go down rabbit holes. And so I started just like researching other religions. Like, how do we know Christianity is the right one? Who said? And then just looking into the government and how it was founded and like what started marriage or how marriage was started. And just like I started getting into like the meaning of words, like why we call certain things what we call it and what that the words derive from. I'm a crazy person. I'm just like always researching. But once I like got into all that stuff, I was just like, I have to seek my own path and do things my own way, which I've always been that way. Like I'm just gonna do my own thing because this doesn't work for me. And yeah, I got into being a doula because I have
Oh,
4
cool.
kids. Yeah, and so I got into the doula work, and that kinda, like, really made stuff make sense. We've been birthing, we've been having babies outside of hospitals, we've been having villages of women that come together and do these amazing things, but you don't hear about it. And so I got into maternal health. Like, I was working in maternal and child health, became a doula, became a lactation counselor, that kinda it just the wheels kept turning. Why did we start birthing in the hospital? Why is the doctor wearing a white coat? Why are toilets white? Like, just a lot of things, and I was just like, "Man, we have been just made to believe that we are like scum." That's not the truth. It's not the truth of who I am, and then it took me back to religion, like, I am nothing without God, and use me and take me away, like, just things that we say, and I'm just like, we're made to believe that we're powerless, and we're made to believe that we're nothing because those are things we say, even in gospel songs, like, "I give myself away, lean not on your own understanding," and I just was like, "Why would we do that? Why would we not lean on our own understanding? That's our intuition." So then I start having dreams, essentially. That's what sparked my spiritual awakening. I start having dreams about stuff before they happened. And I realized that, oh, okay. So this is deeper than just the physical. I have access to things outside of me, whether they're my ancestors, angels, spirit guides, whatever they are. But like somebody is talking to me and giving me messages. Someone's telling me what's happening before it happens. I always had a lot of things that would happen and I just felt it in my body, but I didn't know that what that was. I would know like they don't like me, or I would know who's gonna win a basketball game. It would just be weird, bizarre things happening. And so all these things are happening simultaneously, which is why I felt crazy. But yeah, I got into yoga and meditation, and that further extended things for me and helped me connect again to source, the universe. I started seeing angel numbers. I was always into horoscopes and the science behind the stars and the moon and the astral realm. And yeah, I guess to just research and meditation and journaling and therapy. I went to therapy and just trying to get a better understanding of who I am and why I think this way. I'm also neurodivergent, so there's that. But yeah, that's how my spiritual awakening started. It was just these series of different things that were happening, and I was just like, "Something is not connecting. I wanna feel connected and rooted and grounded in something," and I noticed that religion wasn't it. And when I got into the other things, I was like, "I feel seen. There's language to what I've been feeling. I do know stuff before it happens. I can trust myself. I can lean on my own understanding. I am worthy and powerful, and I don't have to give myself away to be used by a sky dad." Just all these things. So it was a lot of unlearning things that I had felt or been told about myself. I had a lot of shame just about having kids out of wedlock and not following the line of what everybody else follows, not believing what everyone else believes. I just used to be like, why am I so different? Why can't I just think what everyone else thinks? But I realized I need to be this way because there are people out there like me that also are looking for someone that gets it. And I'm the person that gets it. And it helps people to feel seen and validated, which is what we all want at the end of the day, no matter what. We all want someone to say, me too. I see you. I hear you. You're not crazy. I think that way too. So that kind of like just sparked my awakening, just going through all those different things and essentially just having the question why. Yeah.
Amazing. Like that one question and like you like really go up against it and said, this doesn't feel right. Like, this is not driving with me anymore. And like actually doing like the deep dive, like rabbit hole thing. That's so cool. But I feel like that does happen a lot. Like we have these pivotal moments in our lives where I'm not fitting in here anymore. Where do I really fit? What is going on? And sometimes it is people can fit in like these other areas, but I also want to say we are not cookie cutter. Like no one is the same. And try to put yourself into that cookie cutter experience does so much harm than good because something's getting cut off of you if you're trying to be in that way.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that like you're like, no, I'm gonna be me. And like you
Yeah.
really embraced it.
Yeah. And I think being in the field like helped me with that too because you meet so many cool people. Like all the clients I've ever had are some of the coolest human beings I've ever met in my life. And I tell people, I'm like, people think that like they're coming to me to be helped. I've been helped by my clients too. They don't know that because I don't disclose that. You're healing me, you're helping me, but they do. I meet so many cool human beings when I worked in the HIV and AIDS world. Like, oh my God, they were some of the coolest people. And I remember being like, why are we providing the same service and intervention at every person? Like, just even pushing back to the profession, like, when we do assessments and treatment plans and diagnose, like, we box people in, and I'm just like, everyone does not benefit from this. We have to start asking clients, "What do you need?" and providing individualized services. So I've also pushed back a lot in jobs, and I've been fired from jobs, but I just never cared. Like, I'm here for the people, and I'm here for what's right, and if you don't wanna, like, pivot, then I don't wanna work here because, again, I don't wanna cause more harm than good, you know what I mean? So, even, again, pushing back to the profession, sometimes even the theories that we've come up with and, like, the interventions and the diagnosis, like, sometimes I'm looking at that stuff and I'm like, "Is that rooted in whiteness? Is that rooted in colon being colonized and everything's a pathology?" And, like, we're not looking at the system. We're not looking at how this has come about because of poverty, because of politics, because of redlining, because of slavery. Are we not looking at everything? And I'm always a person that needs to see the bigger picture, which is why my business is called Heal You, Whole You, WHOLE, because I'm always looking at the whole person, the whole scenario, and the whole situation. It's why I believe in holistic healing. Like, I just have always had this like bigger picture thing. And even though I've done like micro level work most of my life, most of the work I've done is case management, therapy, one-to-one services. I've always looked at the systems. And I'm just like, until we look at the system and stop looking at the people, we're going to continue on this rabbit hole, which is again why I started my own practice because I was just like, sometimes working for agencies, I get that the intent was to do this, but the impact, it's not always it doesn't always translate. The
Yeah.
intent is good. The impact, however, sometimes is not good. So, again, I can't save everyone, I can't do everything, but I just know that I have to do work that makes my soul and spirit happy, and I can go to bed at night laying down and feeling like I did my best, and I did not succumb to some rule or some guideline that was made by, like, a white man. Like, I don't know. I just need to feel good about the work that I do, and my body tells me whether something's in alignment or not, and when it's not, I have to opt out. I won't feel good doing it.
Well, I totally love that. And I totally agree with you. Like when it comes to agency work, a lot of us cut our teeth in agencies. It's where we get like our grounded footing. Like we get exposed to a lot. I know I did personally.
Mm,
You're right. Like when you're in the agency, there's so many regulations and rules that, in my experience, don't always align with the ethics
mhm,
of the profession or like the intent of what we're supposed to be doing. So I'm like, this doesn't feel right. And leaving it and actually like doing your own thing, like having your own private practice, like obviously following the ethics we have to follow for a profession to keep our license, 100%. But then also like we can you, the person, help heal them how they want to be healed and not put a label on them just for some arbitrary reason. I
Yeah.
hate, I hate diagnosing. Hate it.
Oh my God.
Not like no one, in my opinion, unless like you need it for some disability thing, like if you have like schizophrenia or other like really deep neurological issue, sure. But like
Yeah.
anxiety, depression, trauma, show me a person in this world that doesn't have that in some fashion. Like, why do we need to diagnose it? It's life.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, if you live in America, then maybe you have it. You know what I mean? So here we are. But yeah, I hate it. I don't like doing it either because people start to feel like that's who they are. Like people will say, I have bipolar. And I'm like, no, you don't. You have the symptoms of bipolar disorder based on the DSM. But like, I'm not here to treat bipolar. I am here to treat you, the human being that expresses these symptoms. You know what I mean? Like, it's not all of who you are. And if you tell someone they have this diagnosis, that's all they see about themselves. And I'm like, that's just a part of you. If you have anxiety, great. I'm not dismissing that at all. And we can treat the symptoms and implement coping skills. But also, there's so much more to you than just this anxiety. You know what I mean? And there's so many other things contributing to this. And if we could change the way that the world runs, a lot of us probably wouldn't have anxiety. But we have capitalism, we have patriarchy, we have racism, we have classism, we have sexism. Like it's so layered. And so you're looking at your tiny self at this big old world and being like, I have anxiety. And it's like, yeah, that ain't all your fault though, either.
All the class, if you didn't have anxiety right now, then you are living in a cave and like completely isolated.
Which also isn't good, right? That
Yeah.
also has its own implications. So it's just like there's no beating that, right? And so I tell people like you're not here to get cured. You're not some diseased person walking around. You're having a lived experience in America, which was founded on stolen land, rape, incest, killing. Once you get to that, it's just like, yeah, anxiety, all right. Yeah, okay. I can, yeah. If that's the only thing you got, then you might be all right. Okay. You might
Honestly,
be doing okay. So yeah, it's so layered. And like you said, working for agencies, like that is what makes me not toot my own horn, but I think what makes me so competent at my job is the agencies that I have worked for. You get a lot of experience and you learn how to think critically and you learn how to document and you know like you know what I mean? Nah, I've loved every job I've ever had. I just it wasn't meant for me to stay long term. And what I really believe is that I needed to be in these systems. I needed to work in schools. I needed to work for the government. I needed to work for the hospital. I've done all of the areas. And I think that it was meant for me to be in these different systems so that I could figure out the discrepancies so that I can see what works and what doesn't and where we're helping people and where we're not. And because of all those different experiences in my private practice, I have knowledge of those. When people are going to the doctor and they're scared, or when people do have to deal with the legal system, or they have to deal with getting benefits through Job and Family Services or their Department of Social Services. So I'm glad I've had every job that I've ever had working in foster care, working for group homes. Like I have a lot of experience. I worked at homicide as a social worker. So I know a little bit about a lot because I've worked in so many different sectors and it just I'm grateful for my career and I'm grateful for the jobs that I have had because it does open my mind and open my eyes. And like I said, I've met some incredible people and had some incredible experiences. And the system is flawed. Like two things can exist. So yeah.
I will not trade my experience I had with any community mental health agencies because, like, you're right. Like, you learn so much. But
Mhm.
yeah, like the system is flawed. There are certain things that are put in place that doesn't serve the individual. It serves that company, which obviously the company tries to make money,
Yeah.
capitalism. But at the same time, like you still learn so much. And the one thing I don't particularly is getting thrown cases that like you have no experience with at all. Like I remember I was working at one agency and I was still working on my licensing hours. So I've been like I was in the field for a bit, but I got thrown a DID case. Like I had no training
Yeah.
in DID. Like at all. I'm like, why are you giving this to me? I don't have any training on this. You're not providing me any training on this.
Yeah.
And like I'm trying to like help this individual. It's like I worked mostly with their anxiety and like some of like the other lived experiences. Like, but I did not touch the DID. as much as I probably should have because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't want to hurt
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. And I do agree. Like sometimes they just throw you out there and they're like, here's your chance of getting experience. And it's okay. Yeah, but I still need some type of training or something. But yeah, they will throw you out there. And again, that's how you learn. But it's also, man, I don't want to like mess these people up or make them, I don't want them to leave worse than they came. So yeah, it's a very interesting field, a career path for sure. And I will say you definitely have to do your own work. There's no way you're going to make it in the social work field if you do not do your own work. And that go to therapy, have your own relationship with whatever source like you got to believe in something to do this work. Because the things it will make you question like is there a God? Because why is this person's life this way? Or why are things so horrible? It does make you question so much because we see bad things. Like social work is rewarding, but 90% of your clients and career, like you're fixing problems and seeing fires and you're hearing about horrific things that have happened to people. And that secondary trauma is real.
Yeah.
So I've had some success stories, but most of the time, the agencies I'm working at, it's because people have problems and they're struggling and their life is not ideal. Yeah, I've had my many days where I went home crying or I was up in the middle of the night because I'm like, I'm in my comfy bed in a place that has heat and air condition, and I drive a car, and that is not the experience for a lot of my clients. So it can be very heavy.
Definitely. And for me, what hurts the heart, like hurts me the most is when it's the kids. Like when, like working with the kid, like when I worked with kids predominantly and hearing their experiences, I'm like, there were so many children on my caseload when I did school based and family based. Can I just take you home with me, give you something different, give you food, give you a warm bed, do these things? And it's like, it hurt seeing the kids struggle.
That was the worst. And honestly, that's why I stopped working with kids. I got to a point where I was like, I cannot stomach this. I feel too much. I'm not helping them. We can't both be down in the trenches. And I'm going down there with them crying inside. And I'm just like, I'm not helping them. So yeah, I stopped seeing kids for a while. Like I said, when I worked in children's services, I was like, no. Then I worked in foster care, group homes. I worked in school. I did school based, but now most of my clients are adults because it's something about those kids, man. They get me. And then I think having my own kids, I was just like, nope, I can't do this. There is someone for kids. It is not me. I might take teenagers here and there, but I know myself and I know my boundaries. And I'm just like, I can't do kids. Cause yeah, I will be like, look, all 10 of them are going to be living with me. And I just got it from here. Yeah.
Like, I will see teenagers, but like anyone younger than 14, no.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just, it hurts too much.
Yeah. They're so innocent. And I always felt like I wasn't helping because the thing that would help them would be like helping the adult in their life. Like they're just a victim of their circumstance. And so you can do coping skills and work with them, but they're still going home to the same environment. And so I would always just feel like I'm not helping at all. Even though like you are just by being the one constant in the safe space and all. But I just used to be like, if I get a hold of this parent, it's not gonna be good for them hurting this kid. Like I just was like, I can't be objective in it. I understand why people abuse. I understand why parents are like not there, not present, and doing these things. But it was just like, oh man, I can't. So yeah, shout out to all the people that work with kids. You guys are just miracle workers, and yeah, I love that for them. But at some point in my career, I had to stop. I was like, I can't. And then I got into maternal health, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be working with pregnant moms and babies. But you get teen parents now, like you get teen moms, and then you see these little babies, and so it was just like, oh, I can't get away from the babies. Which I love. I love kids. Obviously, I have 4. I just love children. They're so present. They're so just in the world, and they're so resilient too. They're not like phased by much yet. They're not so jaded by the world yet. And so I love them. I love their spirit. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I had to check out after a certain amount of time. I was like, I'm only doing adult.
Yeah. Do you ever pull in like any doula work still just to help out with people if people ask, or you get completely out of there?
I'm still open to it. I moved. So I started my doula career in Ohio where I lived. I've been in North Carolina for 3 years now. And so I've done some like consulting, like some lactation help and like giving support that way, but I haven't been to a birth or anything in years. But yeah, I'm still open to it. Postpartum work, all of that. It just wouldn't be like my main thing, my bread and butter. But yeah, I've connected with some doulas here and done a couple things. And I've actually been feeling more called to it lately. I've just been seeing a lot in the news with like Black women dying, like after having their babies. Or I heard that like the other day, Snoop Dogg, his daughter lost her baby 20 days after being in the NICU. So it's been a lot in the headlines, and I've been like, oh gosh, should I get back into this? I don't know. Or at least just doing like a workshop or something. I don't know. But it has been on my mind lately. Forget your doula hat. Don't forget the statistics for Black women like want to start families and stuff like that. So it's been on my mind more lately than not. I always just trust that whatever's for me, it'll come to me. It'll show, or I'll dream about it. So if it's meant for me to jump back in it, spirit is gonna put it on my heart. I'm gonna keep thinking about it. So I always just trust that the sign will come for sure.
Yeah. I think that is so unfortunate though, like the statistics for like women of color, like Black, Asian, Hispanic, like their like outcomes when it comes to postpartum stuff is so abysmal, and like it breaks my heart. Because like going through like a birth is traumatic in and of itself. Like the birth with my son wasn't the easiest time for me because it
Yeah.
was during COVID. I had COVID when I was pregnant with him. Like I was in the hospital for a week on oxygen. Like all these things happened, and because I'm a white woman, got a little bit better standard of care, which like I would want for everyone else. And I
Yeah.
don't. I recognize that privilege, and I honestly I know it, but also so it sucks that I don't want to take away from anyone else. And like everyone deserves the same level of care, and like the fact that you're like you can be an advocate, it's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, it is so needed. It really is. It just breaks my heart just to hear like the stories and things. It's heavy. It's very heavy. And again, I have to take care of myself around and I think that's why I stopped for a while. Cause again, that got heavy too, doing the doula work. I started because when I was having my fourth kid, like they were so rude to me at the hospital. And I was just like, this is unnecessary. I'm having a baby. How are you being rude to me? Like I'm the one in pain here. And then 2 of my very close friends, like, lost their babies on the same day, like, 2 weeks after I had my baby, and so after
Right.
that, I was "Oh, no." Yeah, and I was just like, "Yeah, I have to do something about that," and so that's what made me get into doula work, because I was just like, "This cannot keep happening," and then the year after that, another family friend, she lost her daughter. I think she was, like, 7 days old, and she passed away, so I was just like, "This just happens all too often." And yeah, so it can be very scary. And that's sad that it's scary to want to start a family. The fact that they go in the same sentence, like scary and fear and starting a family, when starting a family is something that's meant to be so beautiful, but it can be a death sentence. It's just crazy to me. And there was a midwife that I can't remember what state, but there was in the news, a Black midwife died. Like, okay, that just shows there that it does not discriminate whether you're a doula, a birth worker, a midwife. Like, you're a midwife, you know all the statistics, you know all the medical protocol, you know everything, and she passed away? I'm just like, yeah, then what does that say for people that have no medical background or knowledge at all? Like, the weight of that, it definitely is a lot, and like I said, it's been in the news more often, and I'm just like, "Ooh, maybe this is a wake-up call." Like, we all need to start coming back together and having more control over our own health and our own mortality. Like, we have to protect our own mortality at this point.
And there's so many things that like kind of get forced upon you in a way that you might not necessarily want because like it's the standard of care. But and it always boggles my mind though, like the stats in the U.S. like the birth childbirth mortality rate, the United States for as developed as a country as we're supposed to be. I'm not even saying that we are. I was supposed to be is like mind-boggling and ridiculous. There's so many European countries and like other countries that have this stuff figured out. Like, why in the world can we not follow that same protocol?
Yeah.
We had the same materials. We say we have the same access to that stuff.
if
supposedly.
not more.
Yeah, if not
Yeah.
more.
Mm,
Like, this should not be happening.
yeah, that says a lot. It says a lot. I'm just like, we're the most developed country, we're the richest country, and we have the worst health and worst mortality rate. Something's not clicking with that. And then other countries have like free healthcare, and I'm like, we paying for our healthcare. Shouldn't our healthcare be better if we're paying for it? So it's crazy. But yeah, I just feel like these are crazy times, man. These are crazy times. And I'm just like, I hope that I live to see some type of change or shift. I just hope that I do live to see it. And if not, if I don't live to see it, hopefully I've done enough in the world and in my spaces and through my kids that I've made some type of impact where things can get better going forward. Cause this is just nuts.
Well, like, I might have a naive view of this, but I think because of how crazy things have been for so long, that and this year being the year of the fire horse and the Chinese zodiac and like the new energy type coming in 2027 and human design, like these next few years are the years of like big cosmic changes. And I am so hoping that the suffering that we've all been going through means something in the end,
Yeah.
like for the
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, I've been saying that too. I was saying that when everybody was like, "Oh, 2026 is coming." I'm like, I feel good about this year, even though, like, I always think about things in forms of like tarot cards, but I'm always like, the tower card looks horrible, right? There's a tower that's on fire. There's people falling out the window. It's a black card. There's all stuff. But I tell people the tower card is a good card because it just means that everything has to fall down for us to build a new foundation. And I really feel like that's what's been happening. The system is dismantling, which needs to happen. We're seeing all this stuff with ICE and the presidency and like just it's just chaos right now. But I believe that, like you said, like I think that's part of the shift too, that it like has to get worse before it gets better. And so I'm hopeful as well. But I feel really good about this year. I feel really good moving into the horse. Neptune just went into Aries. It had been in Pisces for I don't know how long. And so, yeah, it's like all these like astrological shifts, but also just in the world. I'm just like, okay, maybe I will get to see some shift, some change, and just the predictions that are coming out about what's about to happen and things like that. I'm just like, yeah. And I have a peace about myself until that tells me like I have no reason to worry. So it's just like all that's happening, my nervous system has felt okay. Cause usually when things are bad, like I have anxiety, I have stomach aches, but I've been sleeping good and I've been very restful and regulated. So I'm like, I guess spirit is you can chill. Like just let things play out the way they're gonna play out. But yeah, I feel really good about this year and next year. And then we moved from a 9 to back to a 1. So it's just like all these things, I'm like, things are gonna be all right. I really believe that. And I think the rise of the divine feminine, like I've been seeing so many women taking their power back, whether it's choosing not to have children or not to have a man, or all these women going on their spiritual awakenings, offering these healing circles, all of these healing offerings, Reiki, yoga, meditate. Like I've just been seeing it. I'm just like, I love this for us. I'm so here for it. I am so here for it because the ones that were told we were crazy witches, now we're going to be highly sought out. And so I'm
Yes.
here for it.
Yeah. I'm still like a newbie on my spiritual journey myself. And it's just it's even stepping into it, like from like, years of hiding from it. I like just to like, no, like it's time to actually fully embrace it has been like just a huge shift. It's like any woman that has like the inkling of, oh, maybe I am like this, or you just been conditioned out of it, like so many of us have been. And like it's just like shedding that skin and coming into like, who you need to be. It's like just so powerful.
Yeah, we're undoing a lot. And I think the patriarchy is dismantling. I think we're remembering because we've never lost it. We've all been powerful. We've all been sovereign, but we've again been conditioned to think otherwise. And so I think there's like this sacred remembering happening within all of us. And of course, when women come together, that energy is transferable. So even if you're in the presence of a powerful woman, you're going to remember your power because she's going to help you do that just by being around her. And so I love that like women are coming together again, giving each other advice, leaning on each other. And it's like we're having this remembrance. And I love it. I love it. I love it for us. And I really think that's what the world needs. We need to all connect to our feminine energy, even the masculine. And that's what they're fighting right now. They're struggling with that. But it really is what they need because it really is what heals us, that loving, that nurturing, that slowness. And so I'm just so here for it. And again, I could be being naive and like super optimistic, but I just feel really good. So I'm rolling with that.
I'm the same boat as you. It might seem naive, but I think just like having that kind of like naive hope though will help carry everything else too.
Yeah, that energy, it's what we put out there. And we have to know the power of our words and the power of our thoughts. And I'm choosing to stay positive. And I truly believe that nothing happens that isn't supposed to. So whatever's happening, I'm still hopeful because I believe that the divine is always in alignment. We're the ones not. So whatever is happening, it is the divine's plan. And I'm just rolling with that, even if it's uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm hopeful. And it feels good to finally like seen and recognized. Cause again, like we were told that we're crazy and we're emotional, and we're unstable, and like we're just these prostitutes and Jezebels and like all this crazy stuff. And it's but when people get scared, who do they go to? Now they want to get a reading. They want to go to an oracle. They want to go to an astrologer. They want Reiki healing. They wanna start doing yoga, and so it's yeah, again, no one counts on women until they're in distress, and then, we're sought out, but that's okay because now is the time where we are gonna be needed, and people are gonna have to say, "You guys had it right. Your little rituals and the things that you guys do as women, that was right, and it's needed, and we need it back." And we get to stop being afraid of our own power and being afraid of being burned at the stake and being afraid of being killed and raped and beaten and all these things that happen to powerful women because nobody wanted us to know our power. It's coming back and we're taking shit back with vengeance. So I'm just like, I'm here for it, this mass
Yeah,
awakening.
yeah, I am too. I'm looking forward to it. Wow. Ray, this has been amazing. Thank you so much. Do you have any like tips or tricks you'd want to leave everyone with before we wrap up?
What's coming to me is just the power of presence and stillness. I think with capitalism and just the way that we are, we're just so urgent and so anxious and just wanting to move so fast and be to the next thing. And I just really urging people, especially at this time, just to be present in the body, just to breathe. Even if you just set a timer for 5 minutes and not be stimulated by music or TV or your phone, just taking deep breaths and really just being in your body. I think that's the most helpful thing we all can do right now is to all just be present in our bodies and just take things slow. Urgency creates anxiety and thinking too far in the past creates depression. So just be where your feet are, because I think that's what we all need right now. It's just a little gentleness, a little slowness, and just to be grounded and rooted in who we are. So,
That's so powerful. You're right. Like just being in the moment and letting yourself be without everything else flooding you will be huge.
yeah.
What's your preferred way of everyone finding you?
I am Divine Empress B on Instagram, super active on Instagram and TikTok as well. Divine Empress B on TikTok as well. But I also have Facebook. My name's Brandi with an I, Doula, Sherelle, Cherelle. So yeah, I'm on all the platforms. My website is healyouwholeyou.com. I always respond to DMs, emails, info@healyouwholeyou.com. But yeah, you can always find me. I'm everywhere all the time. So yeah, connect with me on any of those platforms. Like I said, I'm super responsive. I'm always on there. So yeah, that's the best way to reach me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And all of your links will be in the description below the video as well. People to easily click on those. So thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yes, thanks for having me. Have a good one.